Okay, so it looks like I've somehow gotten myself into a beef with Yusef L. Last month, in July, High Frequency Radio put up this video, which I'll link in the description, which is a response to a video I made about Tony King and Yusef L. Essentially, again, responding to the video I made about Yusef L. and Tony King. Now, I explained this in the Tony King video, but I only made that Tony King video because Extraordinary Life 34 asked me to look at several videos by Tony King and Yusef L. As explained in the video, I think that she's a sympathetic person that's being misled. She says she's got kids and she's etc. And I was concerned that she was being misled by Tony King and Yusef L. So I took the time to watch the video and highlight some of the red flags contained in that video. Blah blah blah. Because I got called a lot of names on that video, including a troll, I want to bring this up because it's important. One of the videos that I had to watch because a life worker 34 linked it was this one, Pastor Tony King, the Depository Trust Company birth certificate monetization from High Frequency Radio YouTube channel, which has, as you can see here, 38,000 views. This video, as I'm highlighting, is an hour and 41 minutes long. I had to sit and listen to that. Well, actually, I was doing other stuff. I was listening on headphones. By the way, that's 2 hours of my life wasted listening to this stuff just so I can make a video for Life Worker 34. You just get attitude in response to it, and you get videos like this one from Yusef L. Now, originally I was going to give Yusef L the benefit of the doubt and operate on the premise that maybe he's just being misled by Gene Keating or whoever else has sucked him into this. But as this is a website that his video, his response video links to, it's his SPC University, which is a secured party creditor university. As you can see here, he's selling subscriptions at $25 a month. The platinum membership is $70 a month. The secured party course is $450. You can see here, you can click enroll. I'm not going to do that. But keep in mind here, this is all a business. This is all a scam to get your money. And I'm going to debunk his response video, or at least highlight the red flags in that video, because please, people, you are getting scammed. And I'm focusing on Yusef L. and Gene Keating specifically, because as Mark Pitcabbage, who is an expert on anti-government extremism and sovereign citizens, wrote recently, quote, "People who have followed my Twitter feed know that I regularly post articles about sovereign citizen-related criminal activity. People who read those articles may have noticed that a number of these incidents now involve African-American sovereign citizens. The sovereign citizen movement, whose pioneers decades ago ironically included many white supremacists, have made serious inroads into the African-American community over the past 10 years and has really gotten people caught up in it, lured into its anti-government ideology, its scams, its schemes, its paper terrorism tactics, and also its violence. I am not sure that many leaders in the African-American community are realizing what a problem this is becoming. I think that if more people spoke out about it and tried to educate and inform people about its movement and its dangers and tried to provide resources to help people extricate people from it, they might help a lot of folks who are otherwise going to get themselves and perhaps others in a lot of trouble. Right now, the growth of the movement within the African-American community seems to be largely flying under the radar, which means people really need to help raise awareness about it and stop sovereign citizen recruitment in the community. Now, it's something that's been mentioned on my channel previously. And over on Van Balen's channel, which is a channel that I don't know how he does it. Well, I don't know if he's a he. Anyways, he scours YouTube looking for the latest sovereign citizen arrest videos on YouTube and news footage, that type of stuff. If you notice lately, well, over the last couple of months, more and more of the arrests happen to be of African-American sovereign citizens. The guy here, Moorish guy, murder suspect, Moorish guy on court fees, toll fees. Another one that got arrested a week ago. Another one that was running for president, etc. So this is now becoming a bigger problem. You're seeing more people getting arrested in the African American community. And the irony is that, of course, these ideas came from white racists. And I guess it's a little bit uncomfortable because I'm not African American, so it's a little bit uncomfortable to be discussing a scam that is infiltrating, I guess, their community. But, well, that's what the channel is about, so I kind of have to. And honestly, if I could get if I could collaborate with somebody who is African American and would like to collaborate on educational videos or something, maybe that would work better, because people, if okay, I'm not white either, but I think maybe if the information is coming from somebody that sounds like them, sounds African American, is African American, they might be more amenable to accept the information. If it's coming from a white guy or a Latino guy, maybe they won't listen. Anyways, okay, let's get to the Yusef L video.
Now, there's this notion that people are pulling up cases off of the internet, showing where people didn't win and things like that, using any of these processes. Anybody who's used these processes know you're not going to find anything in the public record of people winning.
Now, that just sounds familiar because it's a common theme on the channel, and it's common to most of the sovereign citizen gurus like Yusef L. It's an argument that they rely on constantly. And I'm going to cite Meads v. Meads, which I'm going to link in the description because, again, it's the encyclopedia of the sovereign citizen Moorish freeman movement, which this is a case from Canada, but the concepts apply to the United States. It's basically a warning from the judge about people like Yusef L. and Tony King, and people who might be victims of them. Quote, "Last, I have some questions you may wish to direct to those gurus who provide you advice." Quote, "Why do those gurus not go to court themselves if they are so certain of their knowledge? If they say they have been to court, ask them for the proceeding file number and see if their account is accurate. Those are public records. Number 3, can that guru identify even one reported court decision where their techniques proved successful? If not, why then are all successes the tale of an unnamed person who knew someone who saw that kind of event occur? If they can't provide you," okay, this is me now speaking, "if they can't provide you with file number, case file number of a case in which the strategy worked successfully, they are lying to you." And that is what Yusef L. is doing with this excuse. If he doesn't have a court decision or judgment or something confirming what he is saying, that these things work, it doesn't work. He doesn't have anything to back it up. He's just making up stuff.
And I'm going to give you every single thing that I read when I started this.
All right. So as you heard him saying, these are his sources of information. And now this is not a good thing. This is not. We're going to get into why that is, but these are not good sources of information. We already dealt with being cheating. I don't think we need to. Let's go with cracking the code. Now, the first thing that needs to be said about cracking the code is that it does not work, and it was proven by the guy that wrote cracking the code, Pete Hendrickson. Number one, his wife got out of jail in June of this year after trying cracking the code techniques in her tax case and her tax issues. This is the actual Federal Bureau of Prisons website. You can check it yourself. Doreen Hendrickson, inmate number 485-64039. She was released in June of this year. Yusef here is advocating a program that got the guy that wrote it and his wife incarcerated. Now, as to Pete himself, he's been found, he's gone to jail several times for not paying taxes and using the theories in the cracking the code book that he wrote. As we can see here from the Department of Justice press release in, where was it? Here we go. In 2009, Pete Hendrickson was convicted of filing multiple false income tax returns. Tax returns at issue were based on the false and frivolous tax theories that Pete Hendrickson promoted in his book, Cracking the Code, and on his website, Lost Horizons. Peter Hendrickson was sentenced to serve 27 months in prison in that case. And going back to the Federal Bureau of Prisons website, you can see here, Hendrickson was released from jail in what is that? That's July 2012. So yeah, he served 2009 to 2012. That's about 3 years, 27 months. Message here to Yusef L. Guy number 5 on your list of law resources is a 63-year-old ex-convict who has tried multiple times to avoid paying taxes by using cracking the code and lost, and it got both him and his wife incarcerated. It is not a good idea to be getting your legal advice, tax advice from a guy that went to jail for tax evasion. And just because somebody's going to bring it up, I'm not going to go through every single thing on that list. I mean, number one, he lists creditors and their bonds, which is this anonymous PDF. God knows who produced it. It doesn't. There's no name on it or anything. It contains the usual commerce and creditors nonsense. You can avoid paying debts and all that kind of stuff. It contains stuff like there is no money. Stay in honor, fiction and real. It talks about the usual. It kind of sounds like it's Winston Shroud stuff, probably copied with other stuff. Anyway, it's basically creditors and commerce kind of nonsense. So we don't need to get into it. The other one that stood out to me is number 8, which is quote, the nature of remedy 1099. OID, which humorously claims to be written by Jim Rivers, who I don't know, and Obi-Wan Kenobi. Always good to be getting your legal information from people with Star Wars names. That's good. As we can see here, it's from freedomschool.com. Yeah, that's good stuff there. I've already discussed 1099 OID. So for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to mention my favorite 1099 case. Now, my favorite 1099 OID case is, of course, April J. Rampton, inmate number 18592-081, was released in 2015. As you can imagine, as the video, as I'm applying now, she went to jail for filing 1099 OIDs. I'll link the decision in the video after I upload it. Here's why I love this case. Here we go. Defendant's use of the forms was nonsensical, blah, blah, blah. That's not the good part. Here we go. Defendant, April, had learned of the scheme at a meeting with Winston Trout, her stepfather, Ernest Jessup, her brother-in-law, and an unidentified man called Tony, who was promoting it as a legitimate method of debt relief. Tony was purportedly a wealthy real estate investor who successfully used the method, blah, blah. Defendant was unemployed and living on disability, blah, blah. The reason I like this one is that it was Winston Trout who got his own daughter, his own stepdaughter, mixed up in 1099 OID fraud, and it got her arrested. And of course, Winston Trout is now awaiting sentencing. A lot of other people have gone to jail using 1099 OID. Many related directly to Winston. Others have gotten it from other guys because Winston Winston isn't the only one promoting this. Now it looks like Yusef is promoting it. Basically, if anyone is promoting 1099 OID, you know that that should be a red flag there. You stop listening to them right then and there. The IRS even conveniently put up a warning about the 1099 OID scam up on their website in 2012, 6 years ago. That was when the 1099 thing was really rampant. We zero all the way down here. False Form 1099 refund claims. In this ongoing scam, perpetrator files a fake information form return, such as Form 1099 OID, to justify a false refund. Quote, don't fall prey to people who encourage you to claim deductions for credit. If you're a party to such a scheme, you could be liable for financial penalties or even face criminal prosecution, as has happened to a whole lot of people, including Winston Trout's stepdaughter.
Jewish ritual murder by Arnold Leese. I read this document where he was arrested. He did the research on the Jews to see why they've been kicked out of all these countries, and it was because they were doing Jewish ritual murder. And when you read, when you listen to Rabbi Finkelstein, he said, well, you know, we take the children and kill them and cut them up and put them in McDonald's. You probably heard that.
Finally, because this is getting a little bit long, I like to keep them short. Yusef closes out the video by citing Arnold Leese and his book on Jewish ritual murder. And I bring that up because, I've mentioned it in a couple of the previous videos. Again, this is where this information comes from. It comes from really bad racist sources. Don't get it from me. Just look up who Arnold Leese is. Arnold Leese was a huge anti-Semite, an actual fascist, as his Wikipedia page. In 1935, he was already proposing the mass murder of Jews by use of gas chambers, and that's why he went to jail. It's not for the reasons Yusef claims. And obviously, if that's how Arnold Leese felt about Jews, I'm okay. Anyway, if that's how he felt about Jews, they should be killed in gas chambers in mass. Imagine how he felt about black people, or African Americans, whatever we're going to use. That's where this information comes from. Yusef and all these other guys in the sovereign citizen movement, Moorish movement, that are absorbing information from white sovereign citizens. They're getting stuff from really racist, really bad people. It's okay. Of course, they could be right, and they might be right and racist, but unfortunately, this is a wrong situation. This is the information is wrong, number one, and number two, the source of the information is people like Arnold Leese. I'm laughing, but really, the idea that an African American like Yusef is citing a man that wanted to kill everybody that wasn't white is so absurd that I mean I really don't have words for it.